SimTheWorld here. We are playing PC Building Simulator, the esports expansion. So last episode, we had just finished off our season with our previous team. We have been moved over. We're staying with the Dragons, but now we're with a new esport game, the Strike Back Go team. This is the four-person team. I know earlier in the series we did that with Trinity. That was... I think this is a 3 or 4 week tournament, so this isn't going to be a short series with them by any means. But of course, it should be the most interesting, and we have the largest budget. So we should get the coolest rigs out of it too. Now, as a disclosure, I do not know if we're going to go further with the game. I know there's a few more teams we haven't played with. That might be something I leave for you guys to check out. Maybe we do a follow-up when all the trophies are filled in. Just conclude the series, but you guys let me know what you want to see if we continue and finish off the game completely, or if maybe we find a new game to fill this time slot with. I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, but of course, if you guys are interested in finishing it and following the series, then by all means, let's do it. But we got many, we probably have at least 10 videos before that's even an issue, so let's start off the week. We've got a bunch of text messages. I want to go and start with the emails, see what we got to do this week. So we have a budget of $12,000, good to know. Hi, we're really glad to be sponsoring the team, looking forward to being in a productive relationship. This is AMD. Oh, AMD, can you sponsor me too? They want the players to be using the AMD Radeon RX Vega 64. Good to know. So we're going to have to add those to the shopping cart. I think there's different brands. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. Oh, they pop right up. Isn't that convenient? And yeah, so I think I'm going to put 4 in the cart for now, but we're not going to buy anything. And this is what, our manager? Hello and welcome. My name is Che Junho, and you've just joined the Strike Back Go squad in the best in the world, in his opinion. We brought this team together a couple years ago, so you shouldn't have any teething problems to worry about, unlike our SoCar team. Yeah, I don't need your pleasantries. Let's get to work. So our first player, SimTheWorld, he's kind of a hippie, really into nature and animals and all that good stuff. Carbon footprint, yada, yada, yada. So our objectives are a PC that can play Strike Back Go, recommended spec, get it up and running. And as for she's a massive nerd, even for esports, and she's the first person to agree on that. And for her, we got to get her benchmark to 7,000 installed running Strike Back Go, and we have 2 days. So that is probably a pretty easy task. Let's see what we're working with. This is Ishi's computer, and it doesn't look like there's much of anything. We need to swap out the graphics card, but at least we get to keep the 1070. In here, there is an 1800. Maybe that's something we upgrade. There's only 8 gigs of RAM, so we'll upgrade that as well. Motherboard looks good. 570 Godlike. That's such an overkill motherboard for having trash components in there, respectively. Let's go ahead and take a look at... This is SimTheWorld. He has another really nice motherboard, the 7640X. We could probably upgrade that, and obviously we'll need to upgrade the graphics card, only an 980 Ti. So what I'm going to do is, let's go ahead. I think he needs RAM too. What do we have? A 4 gig stick? Yeah, it's coming out. We're upgrading 16 gigs of RAM for everybody. We'll install the new graphics cards. And I'll see about upgrading the CPUs as well. That should be all we need to do. And it might be wise to take a look at what the actual requirements are for a CPU for Strike Back Go, but I think a reasonable bump is in order for everybody. We don't have a choice on the graphics cards either. So I'm going to get rid of these components. I'm not too worried about. We're going to choose our own brand to go with. Yeah, 1800X. Let's go ahead and check out the shop, and I'll come up with the shopping cart. So in the shopping cart right now, I do have 2 of the AMD video cards. I didn't want to get all 4 right away. Let's see what the other PCs are. I have 8 gig sticks of 3000 megahertz memory. We'll do 4 in each. We'll do 32 gigs and shouldn't have to deal with anything else. Or we can do 16 to start and save the others for the other PCs. For the AMD rig for Shishi, we're going from the 1800X to the 3800X. If you are playing the game, they've been introducing new parts as it goes along, so of course some of these options might not have been available when the game, the Esports DLC first launched. But this is a newer option. We could actually put a 5800X in, but if I don't get that in real life, they shouldn't get that either. And then finally, for our Intel build, we're going stick. I considered switching the motherboard, but going with the 9800X, it's a little pricier. The platform's pricier, you know, being an X series, but it's probably cheaper in the long run than switching out the motherboard, and it'll perform fine. If we need to swap the parts out, we'll sell everything and go from there. So we're going to buy this now and upgrade the PCs and make sure everything's running correctly. Ooh, I should probably check out the text messages too. Let's see what we got. How's it going? Been reading lately about Metamorphosis. Like very much to look. Could you return my PC by tomorrow? Oh, good. So he's not looking for anything specific. We can do that. As far as Frank, he's welcoming us to the team. Good enough. And Shishi, she wants to make sure she has at least 2.5 terabytes of space. You know what? Let's see if we have any hard drives on us. We have none. So we'll swap in, and I'm going to put a 4 terabyte hard drive in the shopping cart now, but we won't add that until tomorrow. We'll just hold on to that until the next time we make purchases, because she doesn't need the PC right away. And from here, let me go ahead. We're going to put in our new components. I should be switching the cables over to white as well. Do sleeve to make it fancy. And of course, let's get the components in. Probably should update the cooler, but that's not being asked for right now, so we're not going to bother with that. I'm sure they're going to want water cooling in these PCs eventually, and we'll do that as they ask. Right now, it's just a matter of trying to keep the budget somewhat under control while getting the performance requested. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to finish up the PCs here, and I'm going to get the overclocking software installed. And of course, we will make sure to meet the benchmark scores and install the right software. I'll catch you guys when that's finished. So I just finished running the scores. I did have to overclock the graphics card to get over 7,000. Of course, that is probably the bottleneck in the system. AMD, the Radeon 64 cards aren't as great as you might have hoped. Of course, there are hopefully the 6900 XT and the more current video cards are much better graphics cards in this day and age. Of course, you just can't get them like with every other graphics card. Don't worry, I'm not bitter at all. But we're going to uninstall the bloatware here, and with that removed, we should be able to finish up this PC. I will mention, I did end up ordering the hard drive and installing that. I didn't want to have to rerun these scores. It just seemed quicker to do that. Also, she only had a 450 watt power supply, which, of course, to overclock the GPU as such, it did not work. There's too much power draw. So I actually had a 1,000 watt power supply in my inventory from a previous season, so we just threw that in instead. And Setharos01, I'm never going to get that. Setharos01, his PC is complete. We put in the cooler. I don't think I mentioned Sishi. We also put in a different one of the other air coolers we already had in inventory. So all in all, most of the stuff was reused parts and everyone's happy and we should be good to go. Let's check out what tomorrow holds. So I expect our phone will be blowing up. Let's check out our emails while that comes in. So this is from Please No. He wants us to... What? I'm getting excited to play this game. Good company. Oh, I've heard of that game. I built a PC to play, got a special case and everything, but I only just realized I read the game specs wrong. Can you upgrade to recommended settings? Really happy with the case, but maybe you can add some cables in the right color, orange, and maybe a wallpaper to go with it. Interesting. Good company. They must have just added this. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, the game's newer. I've played it before. Very interesting. I do think we need orange cables. Let me go check our inventory here. We will add some orange cables to the cart, just to have on the offhand. Going further, we have Frink is a kind of team's diplomat. He keeps everyone working together. Take a look, make sure it's benchmarking 7,000. So this is very similar to the job we just recently had. And PP is capable and reliable. I sure hope so. I don't anticipate any problems from him this season. No problems with PP. That's always a good thing. Let's start off by giving him a rig with reliably low temps. Can you install water cooling on his CPU? So we need a custom loop for the CPU. Maybe that's not something we start with right away. Let's go take a look at the PCs we have in shop. Oh, and let's check. Oh, wow. So Setharos wants green cables. We're actually going to take care of that real quick. Let me throw these on the counter. This gets green cables, and magically the green cables are in place, so he should be good and happy. No reason to wait and forget that one. I'm trying to get these all done quickly and efficiently. As for Shishi, we have... she wants Corsair case fans in your build. 3 would be perfect. Again, let's take care of that real quick. I typically do keep Corsair fans on me. So let me make this happen really, really quick. The new Corsair fans are in. I did actually have to rerun the score because we switched the components down. It doesn't want us to trick it and put in lesser parts once we get the 7,000 score. With that said, I'm going to briefly go over these PCs real quick. We'll also take a look at the text messages. So Frank, he's wondering about yellow cables. We can do yellow cables in his PC, not a problem. And as far as PP, he's got an important request. He wants a i7 86K. So actually, let's put that in the piece in the shopping cart now. We'll put that in, and of course with their PCs, let's go take a look. We need a custom loop here. Luckily for us, the 8086 should fit in here just fine. Shouldn't be an issue. I'm going to take out the AIO. There's no reason to have this in here any longer. This is getting swapped out for a custom loop. He's also going to get a new graphics card. He's got a 1660 in here. No need to keep that. We're going to upgrade his RAM. He's only got 4 gigs in here, which seems like, for such a nice PC, really not a lot of RAM. And of course, we also will need a power supply because he's running this all on a 250-watt power supply. That's no good at all. So that gets upgraded. As for Frank over here, he had 4 gigs of RAM as well. I removed that already. That needs to get upgraded. We'll get him probably a 3800 or something equivalent. The graphics card, this is only a 56 Vega card, so this also needs to get swapped out. Little unfortunate. It's very close to the AMD card we needed, but not quite. And of course, his power supply is too low as well. So I want to wrap this up pretty quickly here. So I'm going to order the parts, we'll get it installed, and I'll come back when everyone's good and happy. So it looks like I ordered the parts, but I actually clicked it to get delivered tomorrow, save us a few bucks. Probably the right decision in the long run. We've got 2 full builds to go here. A lot of work to be done, and there's really no reason to race through this. This is the fun part where we get to do the extreme builds. This is stuff that we can't actually do in real life right now, so the parts are ordered, they'll be in tomorrow, and this also means the builds will be in the next episode. So thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.